Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. And we got the final two teams of this post 1960 Apba season on the channel. Last two teams to make it on here is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates opening day going to Washington. So let's take a look here at the starting lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Leading off, playing center field, Van Slyke. Batting second, playing second, Harrison. Batting third, playing left field, Parker. Batting fourth, playing right field is Clemente. Batting fifth, playing first base is Stargell. Batting sixth, playing third base is Ramirez. Batting seventh on the catching is Pena. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Alley, and batting ninth on the pitching is Bob VEALE. Try to get this game in before Legend starts season 4 of his season franchise all-star season. And leading off for the Washington Nationals, playing left field is Raines. Batting second, playing second is Vidro. Batting third, playing center field is Harper. Batting fourth, playing right field is Guerrero. Batting fifth, playing first base is Zimmerman. Batting sixth, playing third base is Parrish. Batting seventh, on the kitchen is Ramos. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Cabrera. And batting ninth on the mound is Strasburg. Let's get down here to the nation's capital. Get this game started. As Beatles joins us here. Hopefully we can get like 5 games to watch today, Beatles, with this game and then the 4 games by Legends. And Beatles gets to see his Pirates. I guess I saved the best for last for you, Beatles. So this is Andy Van Slyke's 1992 season. He batted .324 with 14 homers and 89 RBIs. And Strasburg 2017, he was 15-4 with a 2.52 ERA. And here's the pitch to Andy. And that's going to be a fly ball out to his counterpart in center field, Harper, for out number 1. And Harrison comes to the plate now. He batted .315, 13 homers, and 52 RBIs in 2014. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Guerrero makes the catch. 2 up and 2 down. And it brings up Big Dave Parker to Cobra. And then 1978, he batted .334 with 30 homers and 117 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Zimmerman. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for the Pirates. We get to the bottom of the first. Pittsburgh, nothing. And the Nationals coming to the plate. Look at that arm out there in the outfield for these guys. When a 38 ain't your best arm, that tells you something. Clemente with an arm of a 40 out there in right field, folks. Dave Parker, who had a great arm, to say the least, is a 38, and you got Clemente out there with an arm of a 40. Awesome. So leading off for the Nationals is Tim Raines. In 1987, he batted .330 with 18 homers and 68 RBIs. And Bob in 1968 was 13-14 with a 2.05 ERA. Here's the pitch to Raines. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Van Slyke. He makes the catch for out number 1. And Vidro's up now. And Jose batted .330, 24 homers, and 97 RBIs in 2000. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Gene at short. He's going to bobble that. That's going to be an E6. And the Nationals get the first base runner of the game and brings up Harper now with a runner on first and 1 out. And Harper batted .330, 42 homers, 99 RBIs in 2015. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Clemente makes the catch for out number 2. And Guerrero comes up to the plate. And Guerrero batted .345, 44 homers, 123 RBIs in 2000. And that's going to be a pop-up. Nope, that's going to be a base on balls. Bob Vale's got that dreaded W. So it's a base on balls. Keeps the inning alive. Have to remember that dreaded W. So now you got first and second and 2 outs. The dreaded walk here keeps the inning going here. And you got Ryan Zimmerman, who in 2017 batted .303, 36 homers and 108 RBI. And that's going to be a pitcher, 46 and a 1. That's going to be a rare play with runners on first and second. On 37. Yep. 37, first and second. 22 on a 37. And that'll be hit out the left field. Of course, they're all 3s out there. What an outfield that is. 56 on a 3. Still might be column number 1. Nope, that's column number 2. That's going to be a single to left. Runner on second scores other to third. And batter to second on air. S on second. Scores on the air, not the hit. So that's going to be an RBI single. And a runner to third. So the base on balls cost the Pirates dearly. So you got runners now on first and third. And still 2 outs. All the bases on balls. So now you got Parrish up. And Larry batted .307, 30 homers, and 82 RBIs in 1979. And here's the pitch to Larry. And that's going to be against the lefty, 14. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. And that'll end the inning. But Nationals score 1. Take a 1-0 lead going into the top of the second. You got the big boys due up here for the Pirates. Clemente, Stargell, and Ramirez. Clemente in 1967 batted .357, 23 homers, and 110 RBIs. And that ball is high. How far is this one going to travel, folks? That is the question. Clemente might just tie this ball game up, folks. And that ball is out of here. Home run, Roberto Clemente in his first at bat of the season. Ties this game up at 1 apiece. And you see the Larks schedule coming up. One more game here at home against Pittsburgh. Then they go on the road to play Chicago. A 4-game series. Now you got pops up Willie Stargell. And Stargell in 1973. Batted .299, 44 homers, 119 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Strasburg bounces back from the leadoff homer and gets a strikeout. And Ramirez comes to the plate now. And in 2001, he batted .300, 34 homers, 112 RBI. And that ball is tattooed out the right field off the wall. And Strasburg's having a tough second inning. Now you got a 1-out double. Antonio Pena, one of my favorite catchers, coming to the plate. I loved how he could sit on his butt and throw runners out. What an arm this man had. And in 1983, he batted .301, 15 homers, and 70 RBI. And he gets a hold of this one. And he drives that ball in the right field. And Guerrero's got a cannon out there himself. With 1 out, does Ramirez want to try to score the go-ahead run here? Let's see. will be a 44. He's going to stay put at third. So you got first and third, one out. And Gene Alley is up now. Alley had that error back there in the first. Let's see if Gene can make up for it. In 1966, he batted .299, 7 homers, and 43 RBI. Can you get a base hitter here? They'll play the defense back, so it might not take a hit here to score the run. They'll play back here for the double play. Here's the pitch to Gene, and that's what they get. That's a tailor-made double play ball. Down the second, over the short, over to Zimmerman, and a 4-6-3 double play gets him out of the inning. But the leadoff homer by Clemente ties this game up as Sean joins us here. We go to the bottom of the second on a 1-1 game. Ramos, Cabrera, and Strasburg due up. Ramos in 2016 batted .307, 22 homers, and 80 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Van Slyke for out number 1. And Cabrera steps up to the plate. And in 2003, he batted .297, 17 homers, and 80 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Ramirez. He fires over to Stargell for out number 2. And Strasburg comes to the plate. He batted .130, but he's got a pop. 2 homers and 3 RBIs, so you can't groove with one here if you're Bob. And that's going to be a, I think that's going to be a dreaded base on balls here with that W. And it is. That's a base on balls. A W is going to be a big factor in this game. Bob walks another one. Walks the pitcher, folks. Don't want to do that. Now you bring up Tim Raines. 2 outs, a runner down at first. The walk cost him the last time. Raines flew out to center his first time up. And that's going to be another walk. Back-to-back walks by Bob. His controls letting him down here in this second inning. And Jose, he reached on an error and came around to score. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Parker. He makes the catch. That'll end the inning. So the walks don't cost him this time. We go to the top of the third, still 1-1. And Bob will lead it off here in the top of the third, followed by Van Slyke and Harrison. Bob batted .110 with no homers and an RBI in 1968. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Stevens strikes him out for out number 1. Back to the top of the order, and Andy Van Slyke, he flew out to center in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. That'll be strikeout number 3 for Strasburg. Now Harrison's up, 2 down, nobody on. He flew out to right and back in the first. And that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts. And the Pirates go down 1-2-3. To the bottom of the third we go. You got Harper, Guerrero, and Zimmerman. The big boys due up here for the Nationals. Harper flew out the right back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob strikes him out for out number 1. As Ken Castro joins us here. And Guerrero walked back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, back-to-back strikeouts. Bob all of a sudden now has found the strike zone here in the third. Probably just jinxed him, Beatles. Zimmerman had an RBI single back in the first. And I jinxed him. There's the walk. Bob walks Zimmerman. So he's walked the batter in every inning. That's 4 walks now. And here's Parrish. And Parrish is 0 for 1. He flew out the right back in the first. And that's going to be against the lefty of 14. And that's going to be a fly ball again out the right field. That'll end the inning, so the walk doesn't come across the plate. We get to the top of the fourth. Still tied up at 1 apiece. You got the big boys due up here for the Pirates. Parker, Clemente, and Stargell. Dave grounded out the first back in the first. And that ball is high. Kiss that ball goodbye, I bet you, folks. That ball is driven into the gap out in left field. And Dave Parker with a homer here today. And that breaks the 1-1 tie. So the Pirates take a 2-1 lead. Clemente started just scoring off for the Pirates with a solo shot back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short for out number 1. Yeah, this is the last 2 teams to finally make it on the channel. All 30 teams have now played a game. Again, yep. And Stargell, he struck out back in the second. And that's going to be another strikeout. So Strasburg's got Willie's number right now. 2 times he struck out. Now there's 2 down, nobody on for Ramirez. He had a double back in the second. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. So Strasburg, after giving up the homer, settles down and gets his 6th strikeout of the game. But the Pirates take a 2-1 lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th with a bottom third of the yarder due up. Ramos, Cabrera, and Strasburg. Wilson flew out to center back in the second. And that's going to be the dreaded walk. So Bob walks another one. Is that his 5th walk? 5th walk of the game. And only threw 4 innings. That brings up Cabrera. He grounded out the 3rd his first time up. And that's going to be hit back to the mound. 24 and a 1 might be fielding column 2, and it is. And that's going to be an error on Bob. That's an E1. Everybody's safe, folks. Everybody's safe. Bob's got himself in a bad situation now. Strasburg's up. He's going to try to bunt both of them into scoring position here. 1st and 2nd, and nobody out. He walked his first time up. And that's going to be a, let's see, a 61. And he doesn't get a good bunt down. That's going to be bunted back to the mound. Bob's going to fire over to 3rd and get the lead runner. So you still got 1st and 2nd. Strasburg can't get the bunt down good enough. Nice play by Bob that time. Gets the lead runner. Now there's 1 out. Runners on 1st and 2nd. Tim Raines is flown out and walked. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. And they're not running on the Cobra, that's for sure. So that'll be out number 2. No, he's not. Yep, he's not on the team. Nope. Let's see. They got who they got for second base? You got Harrison. You got Madlock can play second if you need to, 2nd and 3rd. Let's see who else. Rennie Stuyton, and is there anybody else? That's it. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't make it. And now you got 2 down, still runners on 1st and 2nd for Jose. He's 0 for 2. He did reach on an error and came around to score in the 1st. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. Actually, that's going to be a line drive down the 2nd. That'll end the inning. So Bob pitches around the walk in the air. We go to the top of the 5th. The Pirates still hanging on to a 2-1 lead here. They got one hell of a bullpen. You got Takalvi out there. Who else they got? They got Face. So they got a hell of a bullpen if they can get to it here. You got the bottom part of the order due up here for the Pirates. Pena, Alley, and Vale. And Tony's 1 for 1. He's singled back in the second. And that's going to be against the righty. 17. 1 and 9. And that's going to be an infield hit. Tony gets a single here. Shows his speed. Tony's not a bad runner, especially for a catcher. So Pena's down at first with nobody up. And Gene steps to the plate. He grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. And that'll be against the righty. 19. And that's another infield hit. So they're nickel and diming Strasburg here. Now you got first and second. Nobody out. And Bob comes to the plate. They're going to ask him to bunt here. They put the bunt sign down. And that's going to be foul ball. That's 2 strikes on him. Sorry, just 1 strike on him. Strike 1. And that's going to be strike 2. And he finally gets the bunt down. And on a wild throw by the first baseman, Zimmerman, that's going to be an E3. The runner from second's going to score. And the runner on first is going to get down to third, folks. Big error by Strasburg. First and third, and now the Pirates are up 3-1. And they went too far. Didn't want both of them scoring. Just wanted him down to third. So it'll be an E1. So first and third. Still nobody out. And Andy Van Slyke up. They're going to have to bring him. Now he didn't score. Now, come on now. So, undo. I want one of them to score. So, you got an E1. See if I can get runners at first and third here. Nope. What the? Third time better be the charm here. Starting to irritate me. So the runner on, I'm going to have an error on the pitcher. Error on the first baseman. We're going to have a runner on second. On first. And finally, we got first and third here. That's about time. Now you got Van Slyke up. They'll bring the infield in. Yeah, going to Marshall's, are you? I hear you, Ken, buddy. So now Van Slyke's 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out, infield in. Here's the pitch to Andy. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Harper's got a hell of an arm out there. 52 and a 2 is probably going to be fielding column 3. Yep. Out to center field. 56. Gene with his speed probably still going to score. 56. Yep, Gene will score with no throw. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly. And that's going to make it 4-1. As Andy Van Slyke gets a sacrifice fly. Now there's one down. Runner down at first for Harrison. And he's 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out. That's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on him. There's a 2-0 pitch. And against this. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Bob's going to stop at second with his speed. So now it's first and second for Big Dave Parker. Parker's already homered in this game, and that's going to get the bullpen stirred up. As Strasburg's having trouble here in the fifth. Parker's 1 for 2 with a solo homer back in the fourth. Here's the pitch to Cobra, and that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Raines makes the catch short of the track for out number 1. Sorry, out number 2. Here comes Clemente. He's also homered in this game back in the second. He's 1 for 2. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Clemente come through with the 2-0 count. And he does, folks. Kiss it goodbye. That ball is out of here, folks. Clemente off to a fast start this year. That's a 3-run homer, folks. That's going to be it for Strasburg. See what kind of lefty they got out in the bullpen, if they got any lefties out there at all. They don't. They don't have a single lefty out in the bullpen. They're going to bring in Jeff Reardon's going to come in the pitch. So Strasburg can't make it out of the 5th inning. And Reardon is going to come in the pitch since they don't have a lefty in the bullpen. Steven Strasburg gets beat up here in the 5th. 5 runs. It's 7-1 Pirates. Jeff Reardon comes in. See what year this is for Reardon. This is 1982. He was 7-4, 26 saves, and a 2.06 ERA. See if he can eat up some innings here. He's got Stargell due up here now. Willie's 0 for 2. He struck out twice against Strasburg. And that'll be against the righty. 16, and that's going to be a base hit. Stargell's glad to see Strasburg leave. He gets a base hit off of Reardon, and the hits just keep on coming. And Ramirez comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He's doubled back in the second. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Guerrero. Finally ends the inning, but not until 5 big runs score. 3 of them on the Clemente homer. And it's 7-1 Pirates. Got the big boys due up here for the Nationals. Harper, Guerrero, and Zimmerman. But they're going to need some base runners. Harper's 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out. And that's well hit. Harper ain't given up yet. That ball is driven into the gap. That's going to be a leadoff double. Harper standing down at second. And Guerrero comes to the plate. And Guerrero's 0 for 1. He walked and struck out. Has yet to put the ball in play. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Clemente's out there, and that's going to be a single to right. Runner out at third. Why in the hell? Well, let's look here. Get the right base situation. And that's going to be a single to right, and the runner's going to score. So all of a sudden now, Bob's getting himself in a little bit of a pickle as Guerrero drives in the second run of the game for the Nationals. Nobody out, a runner down at first. And Ryan Zimmerman's up. He's 1 for 1. He had an RBI single back in the first. Walked in the third, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob strikes him out for out number 1. And now Parrish is up. And Parrish is 0 for 2. He's flown out both times to Clemente and right. Not this time. That's going to be a ground ball down the short. And they'll get the runner out at second. But Parrish beats the throw. That'll be a 6-4 put out. And Ramos comes to the plate. And Wilson's 0 for 1. He has walked and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Gene fires across the diamond for out number 3. But the Nationals score 1, cut the lead to 7-2. We go to the top of the 6th. Bottom part of the order due up here. Pena, Alley, and Vale. Tony's a perfect 2 for 2. He's singled in the 2nd and 5th, came around the score in the 5th. And they finally get him out. That's a ground ball down to Zimmerman. He takes it himself for out number 1. Yeah, if they can make it to the 6th or 7th inning with the league 10, they're going to be tough because they got a hell of a bullpen. Their starting pitchers aren't bad, don't get me wrong, but they're not the best starting pitchers in the league, that's for sure. You got the Candy Man, you got Bob Friend, you got Poe and Drayback as the other 4 starters. Hey, Legends, check out Legends' channel here at the high noon, folks. He's going to have 4 games for us today, starting season number 4 in the Franchise All-Star League. So check that out, folks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Legends. I think the first game is the Boston Red Sox against the Yankees at noon. I believe that's what it is. We got Gene Alley up. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the 5th and came around the score with 1 out and nobody on. And that's going to be a ground ball again down to Zimmerman. 2 ground balls down the first. 2 quick outs here in the 6th. And Bob's going to hit for himself here with a 5-run lead. He's 0 for 2. He did reach on an error and came around the score in the 5th. And that's going to be against the righty. 14, and it's going to be a fly ball out to Harper. He makes a nice catch for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 7-2 Pittsburgh. And we got the bottom part of the order due up. Cabrera, Reardon, and then back to the top in Rains. Cabrera's 0 for 2. He is grounded out and reached on an error. And that's the dreaded walk. Bob walks him. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Reardon. Jeff will come out of the game. Let's see who comes off the bench here against Bob. Lou's going to come off the bench. One of the Lou brothers. And in 1994, he batted .339 with 22 homers and 78 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. They'll get Cabrera at second for out number 1. One down. Now back to the top of the order, and Tim Raines. And Raines is 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 2nd. He's flown out the center and left. And that's going to be another base on balls. So he's walked 2 batters here, and that is his 7th walk of the game, folks. And that might get the bullpen up here. I wonder why that's freezing up in the 5th with that black. Let's see something here. We'll save the game and come back and see if that gets rid of it. See if that'll get rid of it. So we can actually see the 4 runs that was scored. Yeah, 5 runs. There we go. That got rid of it. All righty. So Jose's up now, 1st and 2nd. And 1 out. Bob's walking himself into trouble here with a 5-run lead. And Jose's 0 for 3. He reached on an error, came around the score, flew out and lined out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob comes back, picks up his 4th strikeout to go with them 7 walks. And here's the man that Nats would like to have up in this situation. Bryce Harper's 1 for 3. He doubled and came around the score in the 5th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Bob comes back, strikes out the next 2 batters after walking 2. Gets out of the mess. We go to the top of the 7th. It's 7-2 Pirates. Top of the order due up. Let's see who's going to come out of the bullpen here. Man, they got one hell of a bullpen, I'll tell you that. And Tim Burke's going to come out here. These Nats got one hell of a bullpen. And Tim in 1987 was 7-0, 18 saves, and a 1.19 ERA, folks. He'll try to keep this a 5-run game. And he'll have the top of the order to face. Van Slyke, Harrison, and Parker. Andy's 0 for 2. He did have a sacrifice fly back in the 5th. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Tim Raines is out there and makes a fine catch. Robs Andy of a base hit for out number 1. And Harrison comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the 5th. Came around the score. And that's going to be against the righty. 26. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. For out number 2. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th, and Dave Parker, the Cobra, comes up. He's 1 for 3 with a homer back in the 4th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Tim gets him on a strike number 3. The Pirates go down in order, and we go to the 7th inning stretch at 7-2 Pittsburgh. And if Bob gets into any trouble here in the 7th inning, he'll be coming out. He'll be facing the big boys, Guerrero, Zimmerman, and Parrish. Guerrero is 1 for 2. He had an RBI single back in the 5th. And that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is gone, folks. No doubt about it. And it is now a 7-3 ball game. And that's going to be it for mine. See who's going to come out of the bullpen here. What do we got here? We got a bunch of righties coming up. So Face is going to come out of the bullpen. And that's going to be it for Bob. He can't quite go 7. So Bob comes out. And Roy Face is going to come in the game. Trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. And he'll be facing Zimmerman, Parrish, and Ramos. Zimmy is 1 for 2. He had an RBI single back in the 1st. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Clemente for out number 1. Oh, and Roy. Let's see what year that was for Roy. In 1962, he's 8-7 with 28 saves and a 1.88 ERA. Now he's got Larry Parrish up. He's 0 for 3. He's flown out to Clemente twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a well-hit ball by Parrish. The Nationals ain't giving up. And that ball is high. That ball is far. Larry Parrish with the homer. And now, all of a sudden, folks, it's a 3-run ball game. Once was a 6-run lead, is now a 3-run lead. And Ramos is up. He's 0 for 2. He's walked back in the 4th. The ball's flying out of the stadium tonight, that's for sure. That's going to be against the righty. 21 and 9. That's going to be a Ground ball down to Ramirez. He fires over to Stargell for out number 2. And Cabrera comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out, reached on an error, and walked. And that's going to be another ground ball down the 3rd. And that'll end the inning. We go to the top of the 8th. The Nationals scored 2 on the 2 home runs rather. And we go to the top of the 8th. It's 7-4. You got Clemente, Stargell, and Ramirez due up here. Clemente's 2 for 3 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs on the game. And that's going to be against the righty 6. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd for out number 1. And Willie comes to the plate. And Willie's 1 for 3. He singled back in the 5th. And that's going to be a base on ball. Stargell will walk on down the 1st. And it brings up Ramirez now with a runner on 1st and 1 out. And he doubled back in the 2nd. He's 1 for 3. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Guerrero for out number 2. And that'll bring up Pena now. And he is 2 for 3. He is singled in the 2nd and 5th. See if Tony can keep this inning alive here, folks. Nope. That's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd over to 1st, and that'll end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Do we want to do a double switch here? And bring in Colby. Well, we got a bunch of. We're going to have a pitch hitter and then lefties coming up. So let's see here. We might not want to bring Colby in yet. Might want to save him for the 9th. They don't have any. Well, they got Watson as a lefty. So they're going to bring Watson in and not do a double switch. So Watson will come in. And he'll stay in the 9 spot. Face goes out 1 inning. Gives up to 2 runs. So Watson will come in here to face these switch hitters and lefties. Then DeColby can come in the 9th. Sound like a plan, Beatles. So we'll have Watson. Come here, Watson. Let's see what year this is for Watson. 2014 for Watson. So in 2014, he was 10-2 with 2 saves and a 1.63 ERA. That'll be it for Burke. He'll come out of the game. And let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And Trey Turner is going to come off the bench. They need some base runners. They're not going to go with somebody with a great deal of pop. He's not bad with 19 homers, but they'll bring in Trey here. Trey Turner in 2019, he batted .298 with 19 homers and 57 RBIs. You'll have Turner, Raines, and Jose due up here. Here's the pitch to Turner. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Gene's up with it. Fires over to Stargell for out number 1. That was down the short. And we're back to the top of the order now. And Tim Raines. And Tim's 0 for 2. He has walked twice in this game. Here's the pitch to Tim. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Parker for 2 quick outs here in the 8th. And Jose comes up. He's 0 for 4. He did reach and score in the 1st on an error. And that's going to be another fly ball to Parker. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Watson. We go to the top of the ninth in a 7-4 ball game. Bottom part of the order due up here. Gene, a pitch hitter for Watson. And then we'll be back to the top of the order and Van Slyke. See who they're going to bring out here. Drew Thornson's going to come out. Pitch this ninth inning. What year is this for him? 2014. For Drew. Try to keep this a 3-run ball game. So Drew in 2014 was 2-1, 11 saves and a 1.12 ERA. Like I say, you look at this damn bullpen for the Nationals, it's nothing but ACs. I think they only got one A pitcher. That's Reardon. Reardon's the only A. Everybody else is ACs. Hell of a bullpen. So Alley's 1 for 3. He singled back in the 5th and came around to score. And that's going to be against the righty. 7. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Drew fires over to Zimmerman for out number 1. I have a pitch hitter here for Watson. Like I say, DeCalvey will come in the game and try to close it out. See who's going to come off the bench here. And Bell's going to come off the bench. Josh Bell come off the bench. And in 2019, Bell batted .277, 37 homers, 116 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Harper for out number 2. Drew's got 2 quick outs here. Now back to the top of the order. And Van Slyke. And Andy's 0 for 3. He did have a sacrifice fly back in the 5th. And that's going to be against the righty. It's going to be a fly ball out to Guerrera. The Pirates go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 9th. A 7-4 ball game. Kent DeCalvey, sidewinder, is going to come out here, try to save this ball game. My favorite closer back in the 70s. I loved old Kent DeCalvey. Him and Gene Garber. Anybody to throw sidearm. I think this is DeCalvey's 79 year. Nope, 83 year. 1983. He was 7-5. 18 saves and a 1.64 ERA. I thought for sure they'd go with that 79 year when he pitched like almost 100 and some innings. See the Washington schedule. They got one more game against Pittsburgh and then they go to Chicago. They'll be facing the big boys here. Nothing easy. He's got Harper, Guerrera, and Zimmerman due up. Harper's 1 for 4. He doubled and came around to score in the 5th. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Willie. He picks it up, calls off to DeCalvey for out number 1. And old Vlad Guerrera comes to the plate. He's 2 for 3. He's got a homer and an RBI single. And that's going to be another ground ball down to first. 2 ground balls to Stargell, 2 outs. And it's up to Ryan Zimmerman to keep this game alive. Zimmy's 1 for 3. He had an RBI single back in the 1st. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Van Slyke. And that's your ball game, folks. The Pirates win this game 7-4. Yeah, the Buccos win is right. I thought they had an easy win, but Bob's going to make it interesting with those W's. That's for sure. Going to make it interesting with that W. That's a killer in Apba, having that W. The Pirates, 7 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. The Nationals, 4 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Old Clemente, 2 homers in the game, folks. 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. The Pirates were 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They cashed in when they had the chance. Only left 3 men on base. Guerrero was 2 for 4. He had a homer along with Parrish. And they was only 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Left 10 men on base. Bob gave him opportunities with all them walks. Bob picks up the win, goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. Walked 7, struck out 5, gave up the home run. Face comes in, pitches 1 inning, gives up the homer to Parrish, 1 run. And Watson comes in and does the job, pitches 1 inning. And Colby comes in, pitches the 9th, gets his first save of the year. And Strasburg didn't have it today, folks. He falls to 0-1, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs. Only 2 of them earned, though. 6 strikeouts and 3 homers. Reardon comes in, pitches an inning and a third, 1 hit. Tim Burke comes in, 2 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And Drew Storen comes in, 1 inning. Let's take a look here at the standings now and the leaderboard. Now that everybody's played at least 1 game. Got the Mets leading the National League East by a game over the Braves. The Marlins are a game and a half back, so is the Nats. And the Phillies are 2 games back. Pirates, Cubbies, Reds, and Astros are all tied for first. And the Brewers and Cardinals are half a game back. And out west, you got the Diamondbacks 3-0, a half a game up on the Dodgers, 2 games up on the Giants and Padres, and the Rockies 0-3, 3 games back. Jeff Kent leading the National League in average with a 714 homers with 3 and RBIs with 6. Of course, the ERA leaders at 0, wins at 1, and you got Smith and Suter tied with 2 saves. Jeff Kent off to a great start, leading in MVP voting, and Randy Jones leading in the Cy Young. And the next game on the channel is going to be these Buccos against the Nationals. You'll have Bob Friend going up against Steve Rogers. Like I say, at 12 o'clock, jump over to Legend Sports Universe channel, folks. Like I say, I believe he's got the Red Sox and Yankees is going to start the 4 games. It's got 4 games on slate here today. Let me look here, tell you for sure. Take a look here. Yeah, at noon's the Red Sox against the Yankees. Then at 4 o'clock is the Dodgers and Cardinals. 8 p.m. is the Braves and A's. And the nightcap is San Diego against San Francisco. So check that channel out, folks. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. Hit that like button and leave a comment. I want to thank Beatles Eternally. Check out his great channel. Sean for stopping by. Ken Castro. And Legend Sports Universe, folks. I believe that was everybody that was here today. Till next time, y'all have a great day and take care.